Hey everyone, welcome back to the Lookout. It's October now. It's prescribed burning season. Been out doing some scouting work for prescribed fire trainings we're doing this fall. And I had a chance yesterday to check out the Phoenix prescribed burn that the Butte unit of CAL FIRE is doing just east of Orville. If you live in Butte County, maybe you've seen the smoke. We were out there yesterday on the way back from Berry Creek, and I'm glad a chance to talk to Matt Brady, who's been designing the project, doing a lot of the legwork to get it going. So we ran into him and checked out his burn. And so here's a video about that. I want to apologize in advance. It was windy and I didn't have the right microphone. And so the audio is pretty bad. So if it gets to you, just turn off the sound and watch the pretty pictures. Thank you all for supporting the Lookout. All right, so I'm here in, is this Hurlton?
Yeah, Hurlton, yeah.
I'm here in Hurlton, California, which is just east of Orville. I'm here with Matt Brady, and he's the Vegetation Management Program Coordinator for the Butte unit of CAL FIRE. And this is, we're looking at a burn he's been doing. So tell us what we're seeing here, Matt.
Yeah, so this is our Phoenix Vegetation Management Program prescribed fire. We're doing a prescribed fire today. This is the second day of these units. Yesterday we had a super successful day down on the south end. Got the top buffered in, kind of had a nice slow burn in the morning, and then as the day warmed up, we were able to come down the sides and turn the corner and get some good fire on the ground. This is just one of the treatment activities that we've been doing here in coordination with the Fire Safe Council here in Butte County. We've made 65 acres of piles. We burned 25 acres of those last week during a rain event that we had here. And this is a project that's been in the works for a long time. We're in the wall fire scar from 2017, and so there's a very large dead down component of oaks and brush, and so to kind of prepare for this burn, we've had hand crews out here cutting in subunit lines. We've had dozers along this main ridge line here at Phoenix Hill, ensuring that we have a good control line in place to make sure that the fire stays within the area that we want to, that we've pre-treated. We've also hand fallen all of the dead standing trees that were in these burn units in hopes that they would have better consumption once they were on the ground. And so, yeah, things have been, progressing nice and slowly. And so far we've been very happy with the results.
All right, so yeah, I see that you've kind of shot some rounds out in there to kind of get a little more depth off the line.
Yeah.
And so the brush isn't burning like summertime, right? But you are getting the consumption you want, you think?
Yeah, it's a very, this burn has been a mosaic. So some of the areas we've had more consumption in the brush. In other areas, there's been a mix. It's been a mix, and it's actually exactly what we're looking for. As you see, it's kind of hard to tell from here, but on the south side of the unit, I hope you go down and we can take a look at that. The fire effects were really, really good, and so that's what we're looking for. We're not looking to, to really, nuke or totally, decimate this hillside, but we want to make sure that we're reducing those those fuels and
This all burned. You said in the wall fire.
This was all wall fire scar.
So how long ago was that?
That was 2017.
Okay, so 8-year-old burn here, and you said you knocked over all sorts of snags out there to try to consume them better.
Yep, that was the idea.
And this area burns all the time, right?
It burns all the time, and so this is a strategic ridge line, right, that we have here. We get fires that come, starting in the Bangor area, in the South Oroville area all the time, right? And we have, Forbes-town that hasn't burned here in Butte County yet. And so once, years ago after the wall fire happened, some of the leadership here in Butte County recognized this as a strategic location to take advantage of the fire that had already occurred, right? The reduction of fuels that had already occurred, and to then try to maintain that landscape over the long term, really to protect, Forbes-town. And vice versa too. If you have something that comes off the hill heading down into South Oregon.
Right. I think like the Bear Fire, like a lot of us have always thought of the threat of starting in the valley and fire going up into the hills, and then you get something like the Bear Fire that reminds you that you can really get that big east wind.
Yep.
Gnarly fire.
Yeah. So it's a challenge though, because it's a big hillside, right? And so a lot of prep work did have to go into making this the most safe as possible, right? And really balancing the air quality, right? Ensuring that the fuel moisture is not so low that we have any sort of uncontrolled event, right? We want to be in full control of this prescribed fire. It's within our prescription, right? And actually the prescription was fairly confined on this one from a predecessor of mine, which we actually had to wait a little bit on the first day to kind of meet that prescription. And so
to get into dry enough conditions.
Yep, and it was really the wind. It was really the wind. It was we didn't want to send a bunch of smoke down into the Sacramento Valley.
I was watching the webcams yesterday. It was really nice to see like how your smoke kind of did this weird zigzag, and it stood up, and you see today like how it's going way up and it's moving away from town.
Yeah, and so the forecast had a pretty strong north wind both yesterday and today, which wasn't really in our prescription. So we had to wait for the wind to be more slope driven here on site, right? Which is going to take that smoke up and away from the population centers below us, which we really don't want to just send a bunch of smoke down into the valley floor, right?
Yeah.
And so we're balancing, right, the fuel moistures, the weather, right, coordinating all that stuff to ensure that we have a good burn, right, a good window of opportunity where we get the effects that we want, but we're not, outside those.
So is this one of the bigger burn projects you've done in your career?
Yeah, this is it. This will be 433 acres of prescribed fire. We're hoping to do the rest of it today, so it'll be over 2 days. We have an additional day built in if we're unable to get that full acreage. So yeah, this will be my biggest one. And I was on the planning side of things. We have another, the incident commander is really kind of in charge today, but as far as like all the prep work and, coordination with the Fire Safe Council and the other local battalion chief here, right? This has been a long-term ongoing project that I'm just getting to be a part of now.
All right. Well, congratulations.
Yeah, thanks.
And so what are some other similar scale large projects you guys are planning right now?
Yeah, well, our next big one, is going to be the Iron Canyon VMP. Over 5,000 acres of fuel treatment, fuel work, fuel modification in the Park Fire Scar. So, it's everything, up to Cohasset Ridge and then over to Musty Buck Ridge. It's a big canyon, essentially, multiple canyons east of Chico. Mm-hmm. And so that's a big project that will be in the works for many, many years. Yeah, we have the South Paradise Vegetation Management Project, which is mostly more machine work and hand work. There are a couple prescribed fire units in there, but they're challenging, and they're right below town in deep, steep canyons. And so those we definitely have to make sure we're in the right window, and it's going to take a lot of planning to get those accomplished.
Yeah. Well, good to see it happening. I've been in planning my whole career, and it's like when you finally get fire on the ground and get what you want, it's a good feeling. So
yeah,
glad it's happening.
Yeah, me too. It's been a productive couple of days, and it's really been a coordinated effort. Really, numerous phone calls with air quality. Right, like I said, we have the Fire Safe Council support, and really without like that cohesive team of all the players coming together to bring the components necessary to get this project completed, we wouldn't have been successful. So
yeah, it's cool. I've never seen the drone out either.
Yeah, we have the PSD drone. It drops these little ping pong balls, right? And it can ignite fire in some of the areas that's more difficult for people to walk, right? There's a
Yeah.
pretty thick brush
Serious
patch
brush,
out there,
yeah.
right? And so while you can walk out there, it's not always the safest thing to do when there's fire around you, right? And so that machine, can fly over and they can adjust the spacing. They can, drop more, they can drop less, and they're communicating with the troops on the ground, making sure that it's all very well coordinated.
I know. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.